वो बाद में कर लेना। वो बाद में कर लेना। हमने कैमरामैन को कहा है हर एक पे फोकस करना, हमें पता चलेगा कौन कौन अटेंडेंस में था। वो बाद में कर लेना। वो बाद में कर लेना। पीछे आ गई तीसरी बार। कोई बात नहीं, देखते हैं, कर लेंगे कुछ, इधर कर लेंगे एडजस्ट। पहली दो पे तो स्लिप्स लगी हैं। हमने कैमरामैन को कहा है हर एक पे फोकस करना, हमें पता चलेगा कौन कौन अटेंडेंस में था। वो बाद में कर लेना। वो बाद में कर लेना। पीछे आ गई तीसरी बार। कोई बात नहीं, देखते हैं, कर लेंगे।
Recording in progress.
प्लीज सेटल डाउन, प्लीज सेटल डाउन। पहली दो लाइनें छोड़ दिया।
Vorrei qualche Rosetta, Rosetta che non c'è tipo, ma è già buono, e lei ha, mia, che non c'è solo, perché, che sta parlando? ठीक है। इसमें केवल 205 को पार कर दो।
प्लीज सेटल डाउन ट्रेनिंग जजेस।
आखिरी विचार को चाय के बगैर मिलेंगे।
कोई बात नहीं। यार 30 दिन हो गए चाय पीते हुए, एक दिन नहीं पिया।
Ya onu ne roblo reşeden? Suçuna yedi. Suçuna yedi. Reşeden o. Ne kaç mekan sen? Trak lagi em kaitan lo kalau. Kait herken common room sa. Dabla common room. Dabla common room sih. Dabla common room sa. Dabla common room. और ना dabla common.
आप प्लीज आगे आ जाइए, आगे वाली सीट्स पे जो नहीं, आप उसके उसके आप आपके पीछे सेकंड सेकंड लास्ट एंड थर्ड लास्ट लो प्लीज। नहीं 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 नहीं, जो लेस्ट आएगा वो पीछे बैठेगा।
पुलिस वाले हैं ना चेयर से हाजिर के।
चाय पी रहे हैं, उनको चाय के ज्यादा वो है। नहीं नहीं, आप इस साइड से आगे आ जाइए, आगे आगे आ जाइए थोड़ी। आप आ जाइए आगे, आप पीछे से भी आगे आ जाइए। 2 रोज छोड़ दीजिए, उसके पीछे 2 रोज के बाद। उनको भी यार चुका ही दिया ना। हमीद इसको उठा दे।
Ya kan kapat. Noy. Sinoy ke. Ya kan ini bahan so. Ya ya. Jadi
I seek the permission of Honorable Chair to commence the proceedings. Thank you, Lordship. My Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Judge Supreme Court of India and Executive Chairman, National Legal Services Authority, Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Chief Justice, High Court of J&K and Ladakh, and Patron-in-Chief, J&K Legal Services Authority, Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abastan, Judge, High Court of J&K and Ladakh, and Executive Chairman, J&K Legal Services Authority, Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge, High Court of J&K and Ladakh, and Executive Chairman, Ladakh Legal Services Authority, were the Registrar General, Director, J&K Judicial Academy, Principal Secretary to Honorable the Chief Justice, other officers of the registry, OSD to Honorable Executive Chairman, NALSA, Member Secretary, Ladakh Legal Services Authority, joined virtually, all the learned chairpersons and secretaries, DALSAs, trainee judicial officers, panel lawyers, LADCs, PLVs present physically, and those who have joined virtually, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I, Member Secretary, J&K Legal Services Authority, on my behalf and on behalf of J&K Legal Services Authority as well as Ladakh Legal Services Authority, extend a warm and hearty welcome to all of you to the State Conference of District Legal Services Authority of UTs of J&K and Ladakh, being organized by J&K Legal Services Authority under the aegis of NALSA and in association with J&K Judicial Academy. Today, we assemble here to discuss the role of legal services institutions and other stakeholders working towards fulfilling the object and uphold motto of NALSA, that is ensuring justice for all, Nyay Sabke Liye. I request the IT team to play the Kashmiri version of NALSA theme song. Yeah.
एहसास इंसाफ सरने हिंद खत्र फलक आसमान इंसाफ कोई सरने हिंद खत्र तरक्की इंसाफ सरने हिंद खत्र बरोस इंसाफ सरने हिंद खत्र पननीयत हिंदुस्तानस पेट्शु हक सोन के इंसाफ किस यत आशियानस पेट्शु हक सोन के आसमान चे किस्मत पेट्शु हक सोन के आसमान चे किस्मत पेट्शु हक सोन के यमा सोचू ज सोन दुख दोद जानन वोल या बोजन वोल छुन कह ते वन इन अदालत तोहि ब्रोह कन पाने सितम जदन लाचारन मेलिन साफ जतन ते मेली बनी इंसाफ कम औरंती इंसाफ हुमंती मेली बनी इंसाफ निस्यतिन दस्तानस şu hakkı sonraki Vamiyeten hind Siyat boşi camanas Şu hakkı sonraki Asmancı Kismaçı gerçi Hakkı sonraki Asmancı Kismaçı gerçi Hakkı sonraki गरीबन त कमजोरन मुफ्त काबली बरोस कानूनी इमदाद फराहम करने बापत कानूनी खदमत अथॉरिटी पुर अजमत पाबंद नासाफ इंसाफ सारनी हिंद खत
Thank you, IT team. Kashmiri version of Nalsa theme song was conceptualized by Honorable the Chief Justice and dubbed in local language with the efforts of J&K Legal Services Authority and Dalsa Srinagar for amplifying the wider reach and message of this theme song. To have an overview of the working of the J&K Legal Services Authority and other legal services institutions, I humbly request Honorable Mr. Justice Tashi Ravastan, Executive Chairman, J&K Legal Services Authority, to kindly deliver the address.
Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Senior Most Judge, Supreme Court of India, Executive Chairman, NALSA. Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Chief Justice, Jammu and Kashmir Ladakh High Court, Patron in Chief, State Legal Services Authority, J&K and Ladakh, Brother Atul Sridharan, Executive Chairman, Ladakh State Legal Services Authority, Registrar General, along with his team of officers of the registry, Chairperson of the District Legal Services Authority, Secretary, District Legal Services Authority, LADCs, panel lawyers, PLVs, and all other judicial officers. Always due to Honorable Justice Sanjeev Khanna. Ladies and gentlemen, J&K Legal Services Authority, ever since its establishment, has been working tirelessly to provide free and competent legal services to the weaker section of the society as mandated by the Legal Services Authority Act 1987. During the year, J&K Legal Services Authority has taken several initiatives to augment legal services activities and effectively reach eligible persons entitled to legal aid, especially living in far-flung areas of J&K. The activities of legal services institutions in UT of Jammu and Kashmir started with unveiling of activity calendar of 2024 by the Honorable the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court and Patron-in-Chief J&K Legal Services Authority in the month January. The calendar is the testament to the dedications of J&K Legal Services Authority to transparency and public engagement, as it showcase the activities and awareness program conducted in the previous year and also those to be organized in the current year. The calendar serve dual purpose of imparting information to the stakeholders and bridging the gap between the legal system and legal aid seeker. Legal services play a pivotal role in ensuring access to justice and cost-effective settlement of disputes through ADR mechanism. One of the most successful mechanism of amicable settlement of dispute is through the medium of Lok Adalat. Under the aegis of NALSA, first National Lok Adalat of this year was organized on March 9, 2024 throughout the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. Honorable the Chief Justice visited District Srinagar and Gandarbal and inspected various benches besides interacting with the presiding officer, members of the benches, advocates and litigants. Due to the intervention and advice of the Honorable Chief Justice, few cases of motor accident and matrimonial disputes were amicably settled between the parties. Out of more than 1.52 lakhs cases that were taken up by 110 benches across the UT of J&K, 1.43 lakhs cases that include the cases at pre-litigation stage were disposed of as settled, giving a huge relief to the common masses as an amount of rupees 51.62 crore was awarded as settlement amount. Likewise, in the second National Lok Adalat, out of 1,28,959 cases taken up, by 138 benches, and 1,22,549 cases were settled amicably, with rupees 43 crore approximately awarded as settlement amount. I may take this opportunity to inform my lord that beside National Lok Adalat, J&K Legal Services Authority has been organizing special Lok Adalat on regular basis pertaining to disputes of check bounce, bank recovery, matrimonial consumer cases, and matters related to public utility services. This year till date, 6 special Lok Adalat have been held, which has not only added to reductions of pendency of cases at different levels in the court, but has also reinforced the confidence of common masses in the legal system, as the legal services institutions are considered as an inseparable branches of justice delivery system. The focus of Legal Services Authority has always been on spreading awareness about rights available to a citizen as a human being, as well as under the Constitution of India. In this regard, series of programs are being organized by DLSAs on regular basis in schools, colleges, various departments of government, and at community level in collaboration with all the stakeholders, including the NGOs. All the special days are observed religiously, and various activities are planned on the said days, such plantation drives, cleaning of water bodies on Ward Enrollment Day, and organizing seminar on Ward No Tobacco Day to sanitize the public in general and young future generation in particular towards such issues. To inculcate the spirit of nationalism in the masses, programs are organized like hosting and unfurling the national flags on Independence Days, Republic Days, respectively. Besides organizing painting competition, rallies, culture events both in institutional and community level. The DALSAs have also organized awareness program in the tribal areas regarding scheme formulated for them with war widows to express solidarity and to extend support of every can needed by them. The authority also spread awareness through the medium of TV talk show known as Kanun or Insaf Ki Baat, in which the Secretary Dalsa, panel lawyers, and LADCs participated in the panel discussion on some selective legal issues of public importance, including new launch schemes and enacted laws. This helped in creating awareness among the common masses regarding functioning of legal services institutions. India, which is the largest democracy in the world, has recently undertaken the electoral process for democratically electing a government which is of the people, by the people, and for the people. The process was spread over 7 phases, and DALSAs, in collaboration with election offices, participated in this systematic voters education and electoral participations campaign in educating the masses about their rights to franchise and focus on first-time voters to encourage them to exercise their rights to vote. Honorable the Chief Justice led from the front by releasing a audio-video message highlighting the importance of constitutional rights and urging the citizens to exercise their rights. Considering the facts that substance abuse is rising and engulfing the youth, besides posing a biggest challenge for law enforcing agencies in our UT, the Legal Services Authority has collaborated with police, education, medical department, NGOs, and other stakeholders working in this field for spreading awareness of ill effect of substance abuse, of channelize the energy of the youth towards drug-free society and nation building. One of the important initiatives taken by J&K Legal Services Authority in the recent past is ensuring better healthcare care and mental strength of the jail inmates undergoing long period of imprisonment by organizing dental health checkup, medical camp, and mega medical camps across all the jails in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. During the said camps, specialists and super specialists of various departments conducted health checkup of jail inmates and provided specialized advice and treatment in the jail itself. This has considerably reduced the filing of the petition for release on medical grounds before the courts. In addition to this, the services of mental health experts have also been utilized for imparting training cum awareness among the jail staff and inmates so that they can live stress-free life within the jail and adopt healthy lifestyle. Ever since the establishment of LADCs in the year 2022, efforts have been made to ensure that no accused remains inside the jail for want of legal representation in the court, especially in the criminal cases. As on date, 4 chief LADCs, 20 deputy LADCs, and 24 assistant LADCs have been engaged in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir to provide legal assistance right from the registration of FIR or issuance of summons in a complaint cases to a person entitled to free legal services till final conclusion of the trial. In every remand application where the accused is not represented by the private counsel engaged by him, the LADCs not only cause appearance but also resist the said application beside filing appropriate petition seeking enlargement of accused on bail. During the calendar year of 2023, 571 session trial cases have been assigned to LADCs and 679 cases were handled by LADCs in the magistrate courts in addition to 2,919 remand application and 627 bail as well as other petition. The data is sufficient to show how successful the LADC schemes is in achieving the object for which the same has been framed. The efficient handling of the cases by LADCs has resulted into disposal of 63 session trial cases, 156 magistrate trial cases, and 2,918 remand applications and 566 bail as well as other miscellaneous petitions. During the current calendar year, out of 231 session trials cases, 15 have been disposed of, and out of 200 magistrate trials, 43 have been disposed of, whereas 1,606 remand applications and 441 bail and other petitions have been disposed of by the courts with the intervention of LADCs. To equip the LADCs with the necessary skills for providing quality legal services in criminal cases, 2 training programs were organized in collaboration with the J&K Judicial Academy with the purpose to prepare a committed workforce to safeguard the interests of the underprivileged and marginalized section of the society. The government of Jammu and Kashmir has framed a scheme for providing immediate relief to the survivor of the crimes or other dependents by enacting Victim Compensation Scheme 2013, now repealed by Victim Compensation Schemes 2019, with the purpose to rehabilitate them. From April 2023 to May 2024, the J&K Legal Services Authority has sanctioned and disbursed an amount of rupees 2.29 crore recommended in 108 cases. In the year 2023, 9,964 persons belonging to different categories received benefits from legal services institution in UT of J&K, and up to April 2024, such benefit has been extended to 4,500 persons. To separate the message of access to justice for all in every nook and corner of UT of J&K and encourage the participation of youth 325 legal literacy clubs were established in various educational institutions. The members of the club are invariably involved by the DLSAs in their awareness activities. Likewise, for the community engagement and as a first point of contract for a legal aid seeker, 239 legal aid clinics are functioning within the UT of J&K, which are manned by 550 paralegal volunteers. Earlier, only the panel layers used to visit the legal aid clinics and legal literacy clubs, but after implementation of LADC schemes, the role of panel layers has been restricted to give advice to legal aid seeker with regard to civil disputes, awareness and LADCs advise them regarding criminal cases. Proposal improvement of IT infrastructure. The legal services institution, particularly legal aid clinics, lack infrastructure and further efficient working. All the said offices are required to be provided with the latest computer peripherals and connectivity. The legal aid clinics don't have any computer and require computerization as well as networking to ensure efficient and timely redressal of grievance of legal aid seeker and also to maintain record digitally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lordship, for your informative address and continuous support to fortify the legal services in UT of J&K. Your Lordship's insights and leadership have been pivotal in driving forward the mission of legal aid in our UT, and we always look forward to your guidance. May I now invite Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Patron-in-Chief, J&K Legal Services Authority, for his Lordship's special address.
Good afternoon again. We assemble the second time, and I extend my courteous welcome to Honorable Justice Sanjeev Khanna, now in incarnation of the Executive Chairperson of NALSA. As we all know, NALSA is a creation of the statute, what we know as the Legal Service Authorities Act of 1987, under which NALSA has been created as the apex body, and various states have their own legal service authorities which implement the policy decision taken by the NALSA. And of course, NALSA, though is not an agency or a part of the judicial organ, yet the judiciary has been given the prime importance, and most of the important roles have been assigned to judges. That's why there is a kind of misunderstanding amongst the public in general, as well as in the executive also. They think that NALSA or legal service authority is a part of High Court or something like judiciary. So they are a little bit hesitant to interact. When I used to go visit in districts in Assam, when I was a legal services executive chairperson of the Assam Legal Service Authority, I used to convene meeting in all the districts, with the DCs and SPs. I said, sir, if you see as per the rules, which is framed by the government of Assam, not by the High Court, there you are an important member of the district legal service authority. Just that district judge happens to be the chairperson. It is not by us. We did not, by the High Court or the Supreme Court, did not direct that the district judge shall be the chairperson. It is a rule framed by you, by the government, in which the district judge happens to be the chairperson. So don't have this kind of apprehension that it is basically under the control of the judiciary and you have very little role to play. This legal service authority is as much important for the district administration as for the judiciary. So then they used to realize, then I used to circulate all these act as well as the rules and the various schemes of NALSA, that these are the various works which we have, all the stakeholders, judiciary, the executive, and various other stakeholders, they have all to come together for the ultimate aim and purpose of providing the free legal aid to the deserving weaker sections of the society. But again, there is again a misconception as if the legal service movement has started with the enactment of this statute. No, in fact, the triggering point was this Hussein Ara Khatun case in 1979, when the Supreme Court intervened on the basis of a report which was published in Indian Express, where a large number under trials were in the jail for a long period of time for petty crimes. And in fact, had it been convicted, they would have perhaps overspent the time of punishment. This shocked the conscience of the Supreme Court. What is happening? In notice was issued, government of Bihar was asked to provide the answers. They came up with all kind of answers which are not satisfactory. It was found that none of these were represented by lawyers. The Supreme Court said, yes, you provide them lawyers. That the Bihar government said, how can we provide lawyers? We have to pay. We can't provide free lawyers to these under trials. Then the Supreme Court said, nothing doing. When it comes to personal liberty, when it comes to fundamental rights, this excuse of not having fun is no excuse. Then that's how the concept of legal services, it got into a movement. Ultimately, Parliament was compelled to make this enactment, and now today we have a very robust legal service movement, and we are very happy that the leader of this legal service movement is amongst us. I do not wish to make much time because we have invited, and His Lordship has been very kind enough, gracious enough to take his time off to address our main stakeholders who are working in the grassroots level, those who are in direct touch with those who are involved with the litigation, the paralegal volunteers, PLVs, our defense lawyers. They are in my view, the most important stakeholders or players in the legal system, of the legal service system. And in the first session, we had a glimpse of the Lordship's legal insights and legal acumen. And in the second session, Lordship will see the glimpse of the human element of judgeship in Lordship. Without taking much of time, I would request your Lordship to address us and enlighten us with his wisdom as well as the rich experience he has gained as a judge of the High Court as well as Supreme Court of India. Thank you very much.
A very good evening, Chief Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Mr. Justice Tashi Rabdan, Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan. Chief Justice K. Koteshwar Singh and Justice Tashi Rabdan has set the ball in motion. And I must welcome our all-important stakeholders in the system. That is the stakeholders in the sense that the PLVs and the penal lawyers and the defense counsels are our mouth, eyes, ears, arms, and legs. The legal aid system or the NALSA cannot function without you. And therefore, we are here to have an interaction with you rather than have a conversation with you and understanding what are the issues and questions. To begin with, the schemes have been put forward by my brother, Justice Tashi Rabdan. Other details and the significance of the legal aid has been highlighted by the Chief Justice. I'll just tell you in a nutshell, we talk about the constitutional mandate, Article 14, 21, 22, 1, 38, 39.8, 39A,
preserving rule of law, protecting witnesses, victims and witnesses, building confidence in legal institutions. Uh, one of the most, we are reading perhaps one of the most comprehensive legal aid systems in the world, in the sense that we are not only providing defense counsels, but we are also bestowed with the duty of spreading legal awareness, knowledge, and providing legal help, not only in criminal cases, but otherwise to any person in need of legal help and assistance, be it to get benefits under various policies, be it to have queries which are sometimes are raised. And at times, the situation is such one counsel will be appearing for the accused, one legal aid counsel or assistance will be also provided to the victim and the witnesses. So it's something which is very unique. And it was, as pointed out in the first session by the Chief Justice in Koteshwar Singh, the the importance is that judiciary has been involved in it. Very rarely do you have any system where, anywhere in the world, where judiciary is involved in a legal aid. For the simple reason, this was done with the view to isolate legal aid from the executive. But at the same time, it also gives an opportunity to do something more than mere adjudication. I firmly believe that we are first and foremost decision makers and adjudicators, but once the legal responsibility by a statute has been conferred on us, we must perform this admirably. In fact, without legal aid, perhaps rule of law will not exist. The reason is simple. 30% of your total trials in the country are by the legal aid councils. The figure goes to 50% when it comes to first appeals in criminal law system. Just these numbers itself are uncomparable. They are unmatchable. And the expanse of legal aid is everywhere. Uh, in this slide, I've given various features, but I'm not going to skip it for paucity of time. Why well-oiled machinery in form of legal aid contributes to the rule of law. This figure, these details gives you the glimpse of the legal aid in India. We have 37 legal aid authorities, District Legal Service Committee, Supreme Court Legal Services Committee. The figure which I'm a little worried about is we have 46,000 panel lawyers, about 42,000 paralegal volunteers. I want the number of paralegal volunteers to go up because given the length and breadth of the countries and the fact that panel lawyers are primarily meant to give legal opinions from the place they are. If we have to reach out to the persons in need for legal aid, paralegal volunteers have to be increased because there we reach out to them. They don't reach out to us. We shake the hands with them at their doorsteps, at their convenience. So that is very important. Pro bono lawyers is again something which is in some states very healthy, some states not so healthy. When you come to the legal aid in Jammu and Kashmir, we have 20 district legal services authority, 1 legal services committee, and 258 taluka legal services committee. I'm leaving Ladakh because I've also already dealt with them. We have front offices in all the 20 districts. Taluka's front offices exist in 25. Front offices having physical and infrastructure is 12, and front office not having this infrastructure is 7. This is something which we'll have to cover up because the digital infrastructure. Can you please close that camera? Torchlight. I can't. Flashing on me. So this is something we have to improve upon. This is something which we'll have to deal with, but this is something administrative, so I'm not going to touch upon it. There may be reasons for it, maybe too few cases or something. There may be lack of infrastructure, government is not funding or something like that. But as far as coming to the panel lawyers is concerned, we have 610 panel lawyers and paralegal volunteers are 548, out of which 341 are males and 206 are women. Pro bono lawyers is 41. Pro bono lawyers should increase. I don't know what is the reason why 41 pro bono lawyers. Perhaps some letter has to be sent to the Bar Association for them. Now, how many paralegal volunteers are here? Can you please raise your hand? Oh, there's a sizable number. So I like to have an interaction with you. Which are the which what are the problems being faced by you, and what just give a little background to which you belong. That is, what is your actual, what are you doing actually in life, and what changes or don't ask for an announcement of fee. I get that everywhere, so don't ask for that. Other than I'm aware of it, we're working on it. But other than that, if you can suggest us some changes, and I'll also ask you one more question. Whether are you used to digital devices? Can you use digital devices? Are you finding there's some gap or digital illiteracy which is uh, uh, keeping back grant of relief and money to the recipients who deserving recipients? Anybody who would like to speak on this, please can raise your hand, and please we'll request you to have a word. Thank you.
आप में से जो भी कोई पीएलवी है, जो कोई अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहता है, अपना नाम बताइए और कहाँ पीएलवी है, प्लीज। पीएलवी फ्रॉम श्रीनगर, गांधरबल। बताइए।
I'm Bilkis Tantre, Paralegal Volunteer of District Legal Service Authority, श्रीनगर। तो पहले मैं जुवेनाइल होम में थी काफी टाइम। तो वहां पे जो बच्चे थे उनको लीगल एड प्रोवाइड किया, और कुछ बाहर के बच्चे थे जो वहां पे बंद थे, जिनको पता भी नहीं था अपने घर का, उनके वेयर अबाउट डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी, सेक्रेटरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी की हेल्प से उनको वो पता किया, रिप्रेजेंटेशन की, और उनको घर भिजवाया। वहां पे एक लड़की थी, वो जो बर्मा की थी, जो काफी टाइम से वहां पे बंद थी। उसको पता भी नहीं था कि उसका मतलब घर घर के साथ कोई कांटेक्ट ही नहीं था। फिर मैंने डालसा को एप्लीकेशन की, तो सेक्रेटरी की मदद से उसके घर का पता भी करवाया, तो उसको भी घर भिजवाया। तो उसके बाद मैं यहाँ पे वन स्टॉप सेंटर।
एक मिनट में आप, सॉरी आपको रोक रहा हूँ।
जी जी
हम चाहते हैं, आपने जो किया बहुत अच्छा किया,
जी जी
स्पेशली जो आपने उसको लड़की को घर भिजवाया।
जी जी।
जुवनाइल होम में आपका क्या लगा? जुवनाइल रूम में हम क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट और कर सकते हैं?
वहां पे एक टीचर होना चाहिए जो परमानेंटली वहां पे होना चाहिए, जो नहीं था। अ, बाकी तो और कंप्यूटर वगैरह वो सिस्टम्स थे वहां पे, लेकिन टीचर नहीं अवेलेबल है वहां पे। वो वहां पे मुझे लगा वो मेन वहां पे एक
अच्छा, आप
बेसिक
बताइए,
होना
हमारे यहाँ पे कोई टीचर्स आपके पीएलवीज हैं जो टीचर भी हैं?
चाहिए।
नहीं, टीचर नहीं है। अच्छा,
एक परमानेंट डॉक्टर होना चाहिए वहां पे, क्योंकि कभी इमरजेंसी होती है। एम्बुलेंस होती है वहां पे, फार्मासिस्ट है वहां पे, लेकिन एक डॉक्टर नहीं है। मेरे हिसाब से मुझे लगा एक डॉक्टर की जरूरत है वहां पे।
अच्छा, तो
और
आप एक
उसके
और चीज बताइए वहां पे।
जी जी।
नहीं, इसको वो रहने दीजिए, डोंट शिफ्ट इट फ्रॉम दिस टू दैट, लेट द कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन रिमेन व्हेन आई एम स्पीकिंग, लेट इट बी okay, but they will not be able to hear then. Okay, they will not, the others will, no, no, they will not be, okay,
इसकी
let it be.
इसकी
नहीं, हमें इम्प्रूवमेंट का टीचर, देखिए टीचर्स के लिए हमें गवर्नमेंट को लिखना पड़ेगा,
जी जी
वो हमारे उसमें नहीं है।
जी
आप दूसरा, आपको ये एज के डिटर्मिनेशन के ऊपर कोई आपको लगा कि हमारे यहाँ कोई खामियां हैं? जो एज डिटर्मिनेशन का रूल है, हमारे जो वहाँ पे काउंसल्स उनके लिए, जुवेनाइल्स के लिए पेश हो रहे थे,
जी जी सर।
वर पीपल हैप्पी? वो खुश थे कि
जी
हमारा परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा है?
जी, उसमें वो खुश है, उसे
वो ठीक था?
जी जी, वो मुझे लगा।
अच्छा, और आप दूसरा, आपने पेरेंट्स वगैरह से भी बात करी
जी जी
जुवेनाइल के?
जी जी।
तो उनको उनसे क्या पता चला, किस लिए क्राइम, किस लिए में हुआ था?
जहां तक मुझे लगा कि फैमिली बैकग्राउंड, कुछ बच्चे उसमें जो थे ऑर्फन थे,
हम्म।
या कुछ बच्चे का मैट्रिमोनियल, वो ना फादर मदर के बीच में डिस्प्यूट था, उस वजह से भी मुझे लगा, जितना मैंने देखा उस वजह से
अच्छा,
वो क्राइम।
तो आप कभी गई हैं, इनके घर वगैरह भी गई थी मिलने के लिए?
घर तो मैं नहीं गई, अलबत्ता वहां पे पेरेंट्स से मिली, फोन पे बात किया, उनकी काउंसलर से बात करती थी।
ओके,
हाँ।
तो
इसके अलावा
कितने कितने बच्चे थे उधर जुवेनाइल होम में?
वहां पे वो एक ही नहीं रहता है, कभी 30, 35, 40, ऐसे 45, 50।
खाना वगैरह उनका रहन सहन ठीक था?
बहुत अच्छा, हाँ जी जी सर, वो बहुत अच्छा है।
और कोई कुछ कहना चाहे?
और इसके अलावा हम जाते हैं डोर टू डोर, जितनी भी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स है, जैसे सोशल वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट की स्कीम्स है, वो लोगों तक पहुंच जाते हैं, उनको
तो
पता
आपको
भी नहीं
कौन
होता।
बताता है स्कीम्स के बारे में?
हमें पता है, हमने बुकलेट ली हुई है डिपार्टमेंट से, हम खुद जाते हैं वहां, विजिट करते हैं। और फिर जो फार फ्लंग एरियाज में लोग रहते हैं उनको पता भी नहीं होता है। पिछली बार मैंने कि एक केस था जिसने 4 साल पहले फॉर्म भरा था। एक लेडी थी विडो, उसका कोई नहीं था। फिर मैं उसके साथ में, उसको सैंक्शन नहीं हो रहा था, 4 साल के बाद फिर मैंने उसका सैंक्शन करवाया। इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे ऐसे केस, डिसेबिलिटी, उनको जो है पर मंथ 1,000 मिलता है वहां से।
अच्छा, मेरे को बताइए,
लेकिन
आपको डिजिटल डिवाइस यूज करना आता है,
जी
कंप्यूटर वगैरह?
जी जी सर, लेकिन
तो
अवेलेबल नहीं है। वो होनी चाहिए, पीएलवीज को एक लैपटॉप होना चाहिए, क्लिनिक्स पे हमारे होने चाहिए। हमें जो है अपना पर्सनल करना पड़ता है।
आपने पर्सनली यूज किया था फिर?
पर्सनली करते हैं जी सर। अब
और
हमारे
अगर आपका
पास।
सपोज वो नहीं कर रहे, तो आप किसको इन्फॉर्म करते हैं कि नहीं हुआ? ये अगर आपको आपका जो रिक्वेस्ट लेटर एप्लीकेशन दिया है किसी के बिहाफ में,
जी जी,
वो मना कर देते हैं या रिजेक्ट कर देते हैं या कोई आंसर नहीं देते, तो किसको इन्फॉर्म
अपने
करते
सेक्रेटरी सर को करते हैं और फिर वो
हैं?
फॉरवर्ड
आपको
करते हैं।
पेमेंट वगैरह टाइम से मिल रहा है?
जी जी सर, मिल रहा है टाइम से।
टाइम से मिल रहा
लेकिन सर बहुत कम है तो
है?
तो उसमें जो है हमारे अपनी फेयर भी जाती है, फोन खर्चा जो भी हमें डिपार्टमेंट से विजिट करना पड़ता है डे टू डे, तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन वगैरह जो हमें मिलता है वो उसी में जाता है। तो अगर
अच्छी
उसमें।
बात। अच्छा, और कोई कोई बोलना चाहेगा?
जी सर, थैंक यू।
और कोई बोलना चाहेगा पीएलवीज में से? अच्छा, आप में से बताइए, आप में से कितने जने आ, घर पे गए हैं, विलेजेस जाते हैं? आप में से कौन किन को विलेजेस का या रूरल एरियाज का दिया गया है टास्क? नहीं, आप सब ज्यादातर श्रीनगर से हैं।
Online.
ऑनलाइन पे हैं। ऑनलाइन पे कोई बात करना, अच्छा, ऑनलाइन पे बात करना मुश्किल होगा। बट आपने को कभी महसूस हुआ कि जो श्रीनगर में है वो आउटसाइड विलेजेस में रेप्लिकेट नहीं हो रहा? वैसे ही नहीं हो रहा? नहीं। अच्छा, स्कीम्स के बारे में, जो कुछ तो हमारी 13 तो हमारी स्कीम्स हैं, और जो गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम्स है उसके आपको बुकलेट दिया गया है कोई?
वहां से नहीं दिए गए, हम
तो
जाते हैं।
आपके पास कोई कंपाइलेशन नहीं है जो हम लोग दे सकते हैं? आपको लगता है हम कंपाइलेशन बना के आपको दे दें बुकलेट?
जी सर, दे सकते हैं, जरूरी है सर, वो दे सकते।
अच्छा, और किस किस एरिया में आपको लगता है कि हमारी स्कीम लैकिंग है? किस किस सेक्शन के ऊपर हमारी स्कीम लैकिंग है, पूरा नहीं है हमारा?
कि हाँ, फार फार फ्लंग एरियाज में sir, मुझे
अच्छा, नहीं, फार फ्लंग एरियाज की नहीं मैं बात कर रहा था,
जी।
किस कोई सेक्शन को हमने इग्नोर किया हुआ है?
अच्छा, हमने साउथर्न
ऐसा नहीं।
कवर किए हैं हमने।
अच्छा,
जी सर।
चलिए, put on the
ठीक है।
panel lawyers, please. How many panel lawyers are here? Okay. Now, as panel lawyers, do you sometimes visit jail? Have you interacted with the? Do you normally interact? With whom do you interact? Normally, with whom do you interact from the side? Just give the mic to them.
Good afternoon, sir. I, as a public prosecutor, I have been public prosecutor in district court.
No, you're not. I'm not talking about public prosecutor's role. I'm
Sorry,
talking
as
about panel
not as a panel lawyer, but I have visited the jail. But there, I have observed certain things which needs to be
What
addressed.
is your name, please?
I'm Tanveer Ahmed Bhatt,
Yes.
and
Yes.
is the observation so far as the food is being provided to the. Recently, I have gone to Dignibal jail and Central jail as well, and other sub jails. And I have observed the food which is being provided to the prisoners. That's not hygienic one. One thing which that's my personal observation. And more so that the where is being on this has been a hot issue that we raised the issue regarding the under trial prisoners. But practically we work less. I'm sorry to say, sir, because as a legal practitioner, I observe what we give trust that this much of quantum is lying inside the jails. But what we are doing practically as a lawyer, I see that this delivery system needs to be speed up. It needs to be speed up. One example of our district is the person is languishing in jail since almost 3 years. That is 302. But so far the evidence recorded till date does not connect the accused with the commission of crime. But he has been operated inside the jail. That information has been supplied to the court. There's still something on humanitarian grounds as well. Some sigh of relief should have been given to he should have been shifted from that hot place Jammu to the as a parent place, which has not been done. In fact, his relatives have approached.
Look, we are
Yeah.
talking about legal aid. We are not talking about the justice delivery system. There's a difference between the two. I'm more interested. How many times? Look, as a panel lawyer, we must understand we are providing legal service. It has to be at par, at same level as a private lawyer, if not better. So first and foremost, how many of you visit the jail and interact with the lawyer, with the accused before you prepare the matter, say for charge and for evidence? How many of you do that?
Yes. As a remand, I was also a remand counsel. During remand, I made myself.
Okay, how many of you?
time?
Look, I'll give you. Let me
Yes.
cut short this thing
Yes, sir.
for paucity of time. As a counsel, you must visit the spot of occurrence. You must see the spot of occurrence. So many things come out when you see the spot of occurrence. When the witnesses start arguing, when the witness come to the witness box, or when the case is made out, is a huge. You come to know about it. Number two, you must speak to the accused as soon as possible. You must also speak to the family members of the accused, with whom he was residing or whom he's close to. They'll also give you the background of the case, which the accused may not sometimes give you the background. Number three, I think when the accused is produced before the court for the first time, at the time of remand, you must insist that the case diary is seen by the judge or the magistrate and is also initialed or signed by him. This is very important in those cases, especially where the name of the accused is not mentioned in the FIR. FIRs are now computerized, so fortunately, backdating and anti-timing of the FIRs is not taken care of. But if you do that, you get a lot of information with regard to how when the evidence starts, you must put the questions to the investigating officer. How did he reach out to the accused? You must on that think about it. Some cases it will be quite apparent. In some other cases, it may not be apparent. There are several instances I just pointed out. Now, let me share with you those three instances. There was a case in which a person was convicted for NDPS and he had already spent about 8 years in jail. When the appeal came before me, I called for the case diary and I found that the sample which had been sent to the CFSL laboratory was returned with the remark seals broken. Now, that report was concealed from the court. And after resealing the sample, which is illegal and contrary to law, this report was obtained from the laboratory. That was and the person had spent. The trial court also made an error in not looking at the case diary. The lawyers also made an error. There was another case in which the person was there's 5 persons uh, uh, were tried and 3 of them were convicted. 2 of them absconded for murder of of the son-in-law. The case of the defense was the son-in-law was upset because the wife had gone away and committed suicide. Whereas the case of the prosecution was they had poured kerosene oil and lit the fire and put him on fire in the open street. When I went through the case diary, I found there were witnesses who had given statements under 161 saying no, he had committed suicide. That part of the statements was taken away, was not filed in the court. So obviously, look at the position when you look at these things. These are extreme cases. Other cases may not be very extreme. Secondly, there have been number of judgments now of the Supreme Court dealing with 436, 437, 438, 439, which have to be dealt with. There's one more point I want to emphasize. Default bail, you have to be ready beforehand. You know when the default bail time is going to come. You must be ready with your applications for bail, default bail beforehand. Make a draft in your computers, keep it alive. So when you have to file, first thing in the morning, you file that at 10 o'clock. Because moment if your application is filed, default bail after the charge sheet is submitted, there is difficulty. Now, there have been recent judgments of the Supreme Court, one authored by me and I think one authored by Justice Bela Trivedi, on what should be the contents of the charge sheet. Just go through those judgments because some courts, the charge sheet they have filed are, they simply reproduce what is stated in the FIR and then the conclusion that this is the case, this is the matter. And the, this has been deprecated and said, no, the charge sheet did not, obviously, it's not meant to be a full judgment of the court, but it must give the indication on what basis you have come to the conclusion that the offense has been committed. We have to be also cautious. There are certain provisions now where the offenses are punishable, non-bailable offenses, which are punishable by 7 years, where you can get bail if the trial is not concluded within 6 months from the date of framing of the charge. So sometimes it's better for you to get the charge framed and expedite the trial so that you are able to get them bail in case the trial is not concluded in that time. Obviously, it should not be that because of your reason the trial is getting delayed. So there are various provisions which have now been incorporated in the code. Maybe the new code also has. I've not gone through the new codes, the Sahitas, but these are provisions which have been gradually incorporated. Uh, we also want to be very frank, start early access to legal aid. Most of the accused are most vulnerable when they are arrested. And when the arrest takes place, many of them and the family members get worried. So what they do is they get all their money, whatever their sources are, they collect, pay off, and sometimes not knowing what is the consequence, what is the offense, whether it's bailable, non-bailable, or it's life imprisonment where there are strict conditions which have to be complied with, or the conditions which have to be imposed in case of NDPS Acts and so on and so forth. But this is important. Early access is very important. Can you put the slide on? Early access is very important because we ensure that the evidence which is there in favor of the accused is also does not get dissipate, does not can be then put forward. You can put it to the court also. That is very important. Early access at the initial stage, at the remand stage itself. Those figures are not very good. I'm talking as an ALSA. I accept the figures are not very good. We have to. Yes. ठीक. इसको बंद कर देना. नेक्स्ट शेयर कर देंगे. आया नहीं, आ गया. You see, early access is very important. Making the suspect feel less isolated or intimidated, safeguarding his rights as per law, keeping a track of police aggression, abuse of powers, avoiding unnecessary arrest, granting vital and time-sensitive information or evidence for the suspect's defense which may not be available after passage of time, protecting the suspect against being subjected to wrongful self-incriminating self-full incrimination contrary to the constitutional and the statutory provisions. This families also we have to ensure they are not misled and divested of money, resources, and over exploitation. The figure which I said 50% at the stage of appeal shows that by the time the matter is concluded at the trial stage, most of the accused are already deprived of all their means of livelihood or assets. Uh, there is these are the figures with regard to the early access. We have been trying to work on them. Very poor figures. In fact, the number of people who get access at the remand stage is fairly reasonable. 1,70,200 and 912 addressees were provided help at the remand stage, but out of that, only legal assistance was given to 27,521. So we have to, I'm now referring to the district legal services authorities. We have to work out and find out how can we provide early assistance in legal aid. And in this, I want paralegal volunteers to come in the forefront, uh, because they are the ones who can talk to the parents, and then the panel lawyers can come in, because most of the panel lawyers are busy, very busy with the court work. So they may not be asked to every now and then go to the police station or to attend the court for small little work. But paralegal volunteers have to be stepped in for this. Uh, this is with regard to legal assistance as pre-arrest, arrest, and remand stage in Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. Uh, these figures should go up. These figures tally with the pan-India figures which we have, but these have to improve. We have 236 police stations in Jammu Kashmir, in which early access framework is available in 88. 148 are still to be provided with early access, and this has to be provided through paralegal volunteers. Where we have granted legal assistance as pre-legal arrest stage is just 94, and in 94 cases, 36 cases were not arrested, so success rate was fairly substantial. At least 36 people were not arrested. Number of persons given legal aid before being produced in the court is 133. Legal aid as remand stage, the figure goes up substantially, 1,087, which is substantial figure. And we got number of bail applications were filed at 57 number, and 45 succeeded in getting bail. This is a 1 year figure. It is not a figure for the all that's being done. Then we come to the legal services committees, the legal services clinics. How many of you, the PLVs, have been involved with legal services clinics? Okay. What has been your experience as far as legal services clinics are concerned? आपका क्या experience रहा है legal services clinics के बारे में? आपके पास कौन कहाँ पे हुई थी legal services clinic, कहाँ पे हुआ था?
My name is Munir. I am working at clinic Ichgam, Badgam, district Badgam. हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है सर 7 years. वहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं, प्रोवाइड फॉर एग्जांपल पुअर पीपल्स फर्स्ट टर्म लीगल एड स्कीम्स के बारे में बोल रहे हैं. उनको
तो आपको
प्रोवाइड
ट्रेनिंग दिया गया था स्कीम्स के बारे में, कि कहाँ से आपको
हाँ,
पता चला
हाँ,
स्कीम्स के बारे में?
डलसा बड़गाम है. वहाँ पे हमें प्रोवाइड किया गया स्कीम्स के बारे में, और हम सोशल वेलफेयर स्कीम्स भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं.
तो उसमें आपको क्या लगा, कितने जने आते हैं वहां पे क्लिनिक पे?
दिन में सर,
हाँ, दिन में
लगभग 30-40 पीपल्स आते हैं
अच्छा.
दिन में.
तो क्या उनमें बेसिक प्रॉब्लम क्या कहते
पहले
हैं?
हम सर
उनका बेसिक प्रॉब्लम सबका क्या, सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम किस चीज का है?
फ्री लीगल एड सर.
किस चीज के ऊपर फ्री लीगल?
सर फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत से विडोज होते हैं वहाँ पे सर, और जो डिवोर्स लेडीज होते हैं अपने अपने एरिया में सर, उनको हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं. हम पहले उनको एप्लीकेशन लिखते हैं, फिर वो डल साहब फॉरवर्ड करते हैं वहाँ पे. फिर हम
तो आप क्या, किस चीज में आपको कमी महसूस हुआ, किस चीज का कमी महसूस हुआ?
सर हमें तो सर एक्चुअली हमें पहले पैनल रिटेनर लॉयर्स होते थे उस टाइम. वो हमें बहुत उनकी तरफ से वो हम बहुत हेल्प होती थी. हम पहले एप्लीकेशन करते थे, फिर प्रोवाइड करते थे रिटेनर लॉयर्स को. फिर वो डायरेक्टली एप्लीकेशन डाल देते थे. फॉर एग्जांपल किसी कंसर्न डिपार्टमेंट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल किसी विडोज की प्रॉब्लम होती थी, वो हम फिर सोशल वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट पे हम एप्लीकेशन भेजते थे सर, फॉरवर्ड करते थे।
अच्छा
सर
कोई आप में से लीगल एड क्लिनिक जेल में अटेंड किया है? क्या नाम है आपकी पर्सन?
Mir Naveed Gul, panel lawyer, District Legal Service Authority, Srinagar. I have been lawyer 4 years and clinic lawyer to juvenile home for 2 years. I used to visit every Thursday of in every week and have interaction with the inmates therein. First issue हमारे केस का क्या हुआ कैसा, वो तो नॉर्मली होता ही है नॉर्मल केसेस में भी, तो अपने हिसाब से आई यूज टू कन्विंस देम। लेकिन इशू क्या होता था फिर हमें, जब वंस वी गेट बेल, we file bail application, bail is granted, then comes issue of surety, personal bonds and surety bonds. अब family members when we contact they say नहीं ये बिगड़ गए हैं जेल में ही रहने दीजिए, that's an issue कि अब उनको surety कौन देगा, that was and that is the reason कि वो
Most of the people were repeat offenders or first time offenders?
repeat offenders एंड कुछ एनडीपीएस इश्यूज रिलेटेड उनकी फैमिलीज को कांटेक्ट नहीं जी, दे यूज टू ट्रीट एज सेंट्रल जेल श्रीनगर एज ड्रग एडिक्शन सेंटर, उनको लग रहा था वहीं पे ठीक हो जाएंगे सुधर जाएंगे, जेल में ही रहना उनका ठीक है, दैट वाज द इशू की श्योरिटी अवेलेबल नहीं, पेट लॉयर यूज्ड टू वर्क हार्ड, convince court, get bail orders, then surety issue was there. And second thing was कि हमारे केस का क्या हुआ, अभी अपील नहीं लगी, then I used to convince कि आज 10 केस लगे, 10 के 10 केस तो डिसाइड नहीं होंगे, एक केस तो सुनना है, विटनेस है, बाकी चीजें एविडेंस है, तो उसी हिसाब से एंड वी यूज्ड टू मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट आर द सर्विसेज बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड बाय लीगल एड सर्विसेज, वो इशू होता था। These are the issues we used to face.
वहां पे हर एक दिन कोई ना कोई लीगल एड का जाता था?
वहां पे issue is that we have a parallel legal volunteer this PLV from central jail itself, because due to security reasons we can't involve outsider inside the jail, so there was a communication
There are total number of PLVs जो convicts हैं श्रीनगर में, सॉरी J&K में, वो 28 है।
in my tenure when I used to visit from last 2 years, I am not now, these legal defense councils are there, so at that particular point of time where there was one lady inmate and one male inmate, they used to convince them कि legal aid की facilities है, then every Thursday I used to visit there, फिर communicate करके फिर हम उनको lawyer
तो
provide
आपके पास कभी सेकेंड ओपिनियन के लिए लोग आए थे?
आए थे, करते थे, I used to do pro bono work sometimes।
नहीं, डीपीए प्रो बोनो वर्क नहीं है, ये तो लीगल एड का ही काम है।
नहीं नहीं, उसके अलावा भी कुछ क्या है कि कभी कभार क्या होता है कि हमारे केस में वो वकील साहब हैं तो उनको असिस्ट
नहीं,
करना।
वो हमने बड़ा क्लियर कर दिया है। If anybody wants a second opinion, even if we are not, he is engaged by private counsel, legal aid will provide that. We will provide that. एक चीज और मेरे को जो बहुत सारे जेलों में लोगों ने कहा कि वो बिलीव करते हैं कि हम गवर्नमेंट के काउंसिल हैं, तो गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट करेंगे, गवर्नमेंट का साथ देंगे।
आई यूज टू इन माय टाइम आई
क्या
यूज टू
आपको भी ये
कन्विंस देम
महसूस
कि
हुआ
हम
था?
कोर्ट के ही है, कोर्ट नहीं मतलब वी आर रिलेटेड टू जुडिशरी जुडिशियल सिस्टम, कि हमारा काम है कि आपको कैसे मदद हो जाए।
और कुछ कोई कहना चाहेगा?
थैंक यू सर।
क्या नाम है आपका?
So my name is Anil Sharma and I am Chief Defense Counsel, Jammu District. Now, sir, I want to highlight some points and issues faced by the LADCs, sir, throughout in the UTR jail.
नहीं, मैं उसमें आऊंगा, आपको मैं बात करूंगा उसके
About the functioning of LADC in the UTR. Now, sir, we are from all LADC on with their behalf, sir. We are very thankful to the Honorable Chair for giving us an opportunity to provide this legal aid to the marginal society section of the society by various program, by awareness program throughout in the district level.
आप क्या जेल जाते हैं?
Sir, we visit jail every week. We visit jail with
आपके कितने हैं LADCs जम्मू में?
सर 2 असिस्टेंट हैं और एक डिप्टी है सर मेरे पास।
आप यू आर द चीफ?
यस सर।
सो कितने केसेस हैं आपके पास?
मोर देन सर 400 इन 1 ईयर।
एक आपके पास 400 केस है?
400 केस।
आपका नंबर ज्यादा है।
यस
आपका काफी ज्यादा नंबर, बट कई जगह पे तो नंबर बहुत कम है।
सर नाउ द थिंकिंग ऑफ अंडर ट्रायल प्रिजनर इज दैट कि वी आर द गवर्नमेंट काउंसिल, many of the things that they, if we engage councils, they will convict us, they will going to help the government, but sir now the functioning of this office, they feels this is not that type of government council where we can convict ourselves by engaging in them. Initially, sir, your lordship, when the cases were allotted to us, we directly went to the court. Then
आपके मुताबिक आइडियल नंबर ऑफ केसेस कितने होने चाहिए?
sir, your lordship, ideal number of cases we cannot tell. If we have a good infrastructure, then we can
बट
deal.
400 के अंदर आपने रिमांड एप्लीकेशन, बेल एप्लीकेशन को भी इंक्लूड किया है?
No, your honor.
यू नॉट
It is
इंक्लूडेड
this is only the session trial and magistrate trial.
मैजिस्ट्रेट ट्रायल.
Yes, your honor.
ज्यादातर केसेस किस टाइप के हैं?
Sir, your lordship, I am having more than 200 cases of action and the rest are the magistrate trial.
पर मेरे को सुना था वहां पे कुछ प्रोटेस्ट वगैरह भी
Yes,
हुआ.
yes, lordship. When the private counsel we are going to appear in the private cases, the who were engaged by the private.
वो उस पे आप डोंट कम अंडर प्रेशर ऑन.
No, sir, no, your lordship. Then we put this the issue to before the learned chairman. Then, sir, then your lordship, we get now we have made compulsory for every under trial prisoner to get NOC in written from the private counsel. Then the
No,
LLC
why do that? If the client wants a change, he can always
But
ask for change.
lordship, they come into the court, they make hue and cry, they raising hand over that you are doing this kind of work. We have a previous fees to get from this person. No, many times the issue, one of the main issue is that we can't get any previous brief. Private counsel is not ready to give brief to this under trial and at any cost when they are going to change their counsels.
That can be that's not a very difficult issue. That can be handled by us. We can always have
Lordship,
the
many of the accused are from outside UT. Their family member is not able any money to come from that area to meet the under trial also. They come, then नहीं दे रहा, वो कह रहा हम नहीं देंगे आपको, कुछ नहीं देंगे, you have to do yourself.
No, we look, if you face that problem, just tell the secretary, they'll pay the money, get the certified copy of the record. That's their problem.
Then lordship, as per the NALSA calendar, we have to go to the jails, schools and other districts. Even in the
Why school?
Sir, for juveniles, if any person was police arrest कर ले आपको, उनको बताने के लिए आपके right क्या हैं, आप क्या कर सकते हो अगर आपको कोई engage करे. Then your honor, many time in the holiday, we have to go in every district in the UT of J&K. So for that we have to give.
You appointed district wise.
Yes.
You're not appointed
In every
outside the
town,
district.
sir, in every town, in every area of our district.
What has been the success ratio of the LADCS? Is it comparable with better than the panel lawyers or
It is better because we are giving full time practice to the under trial prisoner and full time to our LADC office. We are not doing any private job.
I've also heard, not to be quoted, but I've also heard some wrong things happening in LADCS.
Sir, please share, sir.
No, I will not share it.
Sir, actually, from our point of view, in every jail, so we are providing every help what the under trial needed, and every person who fall under the section of 12 of Legal Service Authority.
And how many LADCS have you met otherwise?
Pardon, sir?
Have you met other LADCS in Srinagar and other places?
Yes, sir. Every time we have when we are on Zoom.
इसको वापस कर दीजिए, मेरा वो presentation पे ले.
Zoom meeting in phone.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
LADCS program is working well. बहुत सारी जगह LADCS is done very well. There are some problems being faced in LADCS जहाँ पे काम बहुत कम है. वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हमें करना पड़ेगा. Yes, there is the optimum number which every council can handle. 200 केस या 300 या 400 केस होंगे तो बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. We have to keep a check on the number of cases being given. Where we have to increase the number, then we can increase the number. The district level services authorities must keep a check on number of LADCS. The matters being referred to the assistant LADCS who are normally between 0 and 3 years of practice in the magistrate courts should be simpler matters, and with the help and assistance of the deputy and the chief and you yourself, at times you can guide them. The judgments of the courts with regard to the bail, Supreme Court and the High Courts with regard to grant of bail, what are the parameters for bail, should be all explained to them. Were any of the assistant LADCs given training? Were they given training? They were given some training
Judicial Academy also.
in the Judicial
Judicial
Academy.
Academy.
Were you happy with the training?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Okay.
Your Lordship, one more important, so when we are going to visit the visit in the police station, a uniform identity card must be issued to all LADC for a specific period. So that when we went to the police station, they didn't recognize us that you are the chief or you are the deputy. Who are you? This is the issue faced by the LADC also, Your Lordship. It must be.
Thank you. Thank you for your speech. Uh, we have to somehow strengthen our legal aid clinic system in the prisons. These can be done by various ways. The district legal services authorities may find out those ways by organizing programs or by giving lectures or even attending, say, the morning session when the breakfast is being served. You can go on the mic because normally music is played in the morning. You can go on the mic and talk to them and tell them and explain to them that we are not part and parcel of the government. We are independent. We are here as a helping arm to you. And also assure what I found sometimes many prisoners are not able to contact their family members because they have to pay money. In that event, we'll come in. There are also instances where the prisoners, because of lack of funding from the family members, cannot even purchase certain basic necessities for which payment has to be made. So that can be done. To that extent, we must come out and help them. We should be able to, even if the district legal services authorities doesn't have funds, there'll be large number of NGOs which will be able to help them out. For small, what is there? Suppose somebody wants to have, say, a good soap to bath, or for that matter, hair oil or something, or maybe some sweets once in a while. After all, he's a human being. So why shouldn't he? And calling up family members, you have to pay some money. So that should be arranged for. Uh, Now we come to the under trial review committee. Now this is directly with the legal services authorities, district legal services authorities. How many of you feel that under trial review committees are working and functioning well, or there are some problems? And if they are, what are the problems? Panic 15, 5, 7, 15 will finish. 10, 15. No, 10, 15, 7, 15 will finish. Otherwise, it will finish. I don't know. Who is somebody
Anyone from Jammu side you want to interact with?
maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let me run through this because otherwise questions will be complete. Yes, please.
Lordship, as far as under trial review committee's issue is concerned, sir, because we are aware of the fact that Honorable Principal District and Session Judge chairs the committee, and then at the administrative side as well as from the police side, hierarchies are there. But once all the aspects are considered of an under trial, then recommendations are made. Lordship, because honorable trial judges are there, jail authorities are there, law enforcing agencies are there. When in a committee, all the agencies clear, yes, he or she is entitled to be released, considering all the facts and circumstances of that very case. And when we appear before the honorable trial court, then honorable trial court doesn't consider the recommendations of the committee.
That look, the judge is not part of the committee. He's entitled to pass a judicial order. In case the order is not you feel legally flawed, file an appeal. there is one problem which I face with regard to, because in many cases, the accused himself doesn't want to come out because he feels he's involved in another case. Is that also the feedback you have?
That might be reason, Your Honor, but as far as because I have met one of the case, sir.
No.
It was a lady, sir.
Please. We have to go by the wishes of the accused. He's probably more legally aware than us. He knows if he comes out on bail in one case, the period of sentence or his period of incarceration which he's suffering will not be set off. So
Yes, Lordship, but I will share one case. I will.
Let's not push him into something which is you may feel is right, because you will get a plus point. It's a unit for you, but for him it's a minus. So we cannot criticize that. So, but what we thought was we'll put up a data where the person is not wanting to come out himself because he's involved in another case. Then we segregate that case.
That can be situational, but I will just illustrate one of the case where I was representing one of the lady female accused. She was Your Honor involved in murder case. She has only old aged widow mother back home because her husband was वो उनके घर जमाई था जनाब. तो then Your Honor, she had been in jail for almost more than 3 years, and almost 7-8 witnesses have been recorded in that, and then she was recommended for the release. But honorable trial court doesn't allow the recommendation, sir.
No, look, please. You file an appeal against that order.
Sir, we have already through
Already
High Court legal
decided.
system, but I have already done that, sir.
That will be decided. One more thing I want to know. There is a scheme being floated by the government where the government will pay the surety amount, which I felt was, I don't know how it will work. Are you aware? Are you facing that problem that surety amount is not being paid and therefore the person is not or the surety is not coming forward and therefore the person is not being released?
As on date, I have not met such eventualities, sir. Sir, earlier my brother, sir, I will add one thing here. Earlier, my brother Anil Sharma, Chief Legal Defense Counsel from Jammu, sir. He put forward some points, sir. I am Zahur Ahmed Mir, sir, Chief Defense Counsel Baramulla, sir.
Yes.
Sir, though I have put in my note that, sir, I am having right now, sir, 176 cases, sir.
Yes.
Sir, normally, sir, because our pivotal role should be before the honorable court, we shall represent the accused person before the honorable court, sir. Sir, for instance, sometimes I'm in the court and meanwhile I get a message that I had to submit the data before the honorable chairman or before Salsa or before Nalsa, sir. Sir, 3 persons we are in the scheme at my office at Baramulla, sir. We are dealing with.
You don't have any office assistant?
No, at all, sir. Even not data operator, sir. No receptionist, sir. I have to attend the visitor. I have to maintain his register. Sir, I have to give data. I have to forward my data. Everything is to be dealt by 3 persons, sir. Sir, as far as my office is concerned, I am dealing 176 cases. As on date, I have moved 128 bill petitions. So it is not possible, sir, that 3 persons can deal such all eventualities.
Your office is computerized otherwise?
Yes, sir, we have computers. Yes, the computers are, we have 3 computers here. One more thing, Your Honor, since this e-filing has been made mandatory, sir, and Your Honor, there is one spot wherein we have to mention the fee details. Sir, as on date, we don't have any scheme for fee of the petitions because that is mandatory as far as e-filing module is concerned, sir.
So, no, you don't have to pay court fees when the accused is in prison.
But sir, that e-filing doesn't allow us.
There's a flaw in the e-filing?
Yes, sir. There is requirement, sir. So we are supposed to put this stamp number, then we can carry on, sir.
There is no provision which says this is filed by the panel lawyer or he's in prison and therefore fees is exempt.
No, sir. As a because from the last 10-15 days,
this figure gives us the details with regard to the e-filing. In fact, with regard to the UTPs, I'll be very frank, your data is far better than many states. It's perhaps one of the best data.
Thank you.
As far as URTP is concerned, it's one of the best data, far better than most of the other states.
Sir, one more thing, sir. We have assistant legal aid defense counsel, sir. They are getting honorarium of 20,000-25,000, sir. For example, in Srinagar or either at my Baramulla hometown, home district, sir, we have some circuit courts within the district headquarters, sir. And sir, once a case is assigned to an assistant legal aid defense counsel, sir, to appear before the honorable magisterial court, sir. And sir, because he or she has to go there, sir. And he or she is not in a position to manage within these 20 or 25. There should be some, some scope of expenditure of traveling expenses, sir.
How far do you have to travel for that?
Sir, as far as my Baramulla,
One thing is very clear. Coming to the court from your residence can't.
no, sir, I'm not considering that. I'm not considering that, sir.
But if
From-
you're going to, instead of going to the court, suppose you're going to the circuit bench, if it's the same distance, then it serves no purpose. Then you can't ask for extra.
For example, I will give instance of my district. I have Assistant Legal Aid Defense Counsel. She's from Rafiabad. She has to come to Baramulla. And from Baramulla, she has to go to Kanispora, wherein we have Juvenile Justice Board, sir. She has to, Your Honor, pay almost 40 rupees per day whenever she will appear before the Honorable Juvenile Justice Board, sir. And same is the case with the Srinagar or other districts might be the same
Okay,
case.
we'll address this issue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We'll address this. Come to the next slide. Come to the slide. Just let me run through some of the other issues that are there. I'm now just writing, flagging the issues, not asking for comments. But these probably the district legal services authorities and you people can have intercede discussion on that. The data with regard to premature release is very odd in J&K. This must go up. So we have to get list of all prisoners who have undergone the statutory mandate of 14 years of rigorous imprisonment in case of life imprisonment. That figure must be collected and we must move forward. It's 0.000. That's not acceptable. That's something has to be looked into. We have all India figures which are much better. Legal infrastructure, I've mentioned, yes, there is some problem. We don't have office assistants, etc. That has to be speeded up. Maybe there's an issue who's going to be appointed, how is he to be appointed? Everything is challenged over here. So probably we'll have to find some way out. Some contractual employees, if they can be given, they can be appointed. These are the other details. Look, as far as the figure which I've got, cases handled by LADCS on average are 231 in J&K and Jammu. 231, 400 is far, far beyond. So I think that optimum figure will have to be fixed. We'll have to increase the LADCS in case that optimum number is increased. So you please check up on that. This 231 as per my calculations. This includes bails. This is not the main case. This includes bail and remarks. If we include the main case, it will come down substantially. So in some district, it appears there are more number of LADCS than required. In some districts, there are less number of LADCS than required. We have to also, has any mentoring and monitoring committee met, ever interacted with you? Well, that has to be, these are the parameters with regard to the mentoring and monitoring and mentoring committee. Please go ahead so that we can, if case we have to weed out somebody or increase or accept somebody, where additions are required or some learning has to be given, education has to be given, can be done. Then we had this restoring the youth campaign. Unfortunately, we come across juvenile cases every now and then. I'm not going into it, but you people have to, district legal services authorities have to go into all that. Legal awareness camps, etc. We have given ease of access, national data line. Again, I think we have to promote this. 15, 15, 100, we have to promote this number. We have to, all the offices must have this number. All the legal services clinic, this number will be there. This is going to be now voice interactive in the sense that by AI, we'll be able to recognize the language in which this person is speaking. It'll be accordingly, it will be transferred to the person who can answer that. So this has to be increased. We are receiving some physical applications under the scheme for online applications. That means the digital divide exists. So how can we address the digital device? How can we, help people registering the complaints on our portal, that is called Legal Services Management System? That has to be done because total figures over here are fairly low. Across the country, they are fairly low. Let me put it very clearly. Compensation to the victims, we have schemes which can be looked into. Now coming to the mediation center, that's something which is of concern because mediation is the way forward. The figures are over here. Uh, the all India figures are phenomenal. We have dealt with 36 lakh mediation cases were referred, and about 11 lakh cases have been settled. This is till 2022. And look at this is still 2022. But the figures for mediation in India 1 year are given in this figure. They are not very good. I think they can go up. We are now going to introduce mediation online, hopefully by July. Online mediation will be available. Please, whoever qualifies, please apply. We'll help you become mediators. They'll help you in personal life. It's going to be 30 hours of capsules, which you can go through and educate yourself at your time. And then 2.5 hours, 4 hours, and later on 4 hours will be online, interactive or physical. It's very helpful. Mediation is the way forward. Most of the cases abroad, civil matters are settled by mediation. Even your family disputes, matrimonial disputes, of course, we are dealing with it, but other disputes are also settled by mediation. If you want to look at your future, if you are young, please take up mediation. Pre-institution mediation is only one case was settled. This must improve. In fact, earlier, pre-institutional mediation in commercial matters was a failure. But there's one figure which you see 167. These were the cases settled pan-India in 2019 and 20. That figure in 2023 has gone to 7,431. Look at the jump. So this shows there is something in it. We are unfortunately not exploiting it fully. We must exploit this dispute resolution mechanism to the fully. And why I say so is also the National Lok Adalats. Lok Adalats is a form of mediation, more of conciliation. There's a difference between mediation and conciliation. Conciliation, the person who's conciliating has more aggressive role. He can, be a little more, tell the parties to do that. But National Lok Adalats is dealing with small number of cases. 7 crore cases were settled by National Lok Adalats pan India in 2023. You can imagine what will happen if they come into the court. Most of them were before court institution. Jammu Kashmir was 84,500 pre-litigation and 58,900 post-litigation. 1,43,000 cases. Imagine 1,43,000 cases were settled in Lok Adalats. We have state Lok Adalats here. The figures are also there. Permanent Lok Adalats we have to improve. Permanent Lok Adalats, in fact, can replicate as mediation centers. They can deal with far more complex and difficult issues. Thank you. Now we'll like to hear from Jammu. If anybody has any questions and answers.
If any learned secretary or chairperson DLSA has joined virtually from Jammu or Ladakh, wants to raise any issue or say something, please raise your hand. We have already put a message also, but we have not received any. Anyone?
She wanted to say something. Let us say. We close after that.
Good evening, Lordship. Thanks for having this one-to-one interaction.
Yes, ma'am. Please introduce yourself.
Myself, Tabassum Qadir, Secretary DLSA Anantnag, with additional charge of District Gulgaon. Lordship, I have with regard to one is with regard to UTRC meetings and another is with regard to the Prison Reform Committee meetings and the legal aid provided at pre-arrest stage. Lordship, strict administration is whenever call the UTRC meetings or some other meetings in which they are the important parts and members of the committees, they don't take these meetings quite seriously. And it's many a times that we have to postpone because they cite the reasons that the district magistrate or the SSP of the district is.
I'm stopping you in between.
Yes, Lordship.
Immediately send a letter saying that this is a Supreme Court direction. In case it is not so, we'll have to inform. Don't hesitate.
Lordship. Point which I have to make. with regard to the legal aid provided at pre-arrest stage. Although we have conducted 2-3 orientation sessions with the police officials at our places and made them aware about the legal aid to be provided at pre-arrest, arrest and remand stage. But still, the police officials are not open enough to open the doors of our PLVs to their police stations.
No, but there are two reasons. Please look at now the amendments made from 41A to 41D
Yes, Lord.
of the Code of Criminal Procedure. 1, DK Basu,
Right.
keep it with you. 3, in all police stations, send your details, tell the posters to be put up.
Yes, Lordship. Lordship,
And now Constitution also says, 22(1) says, on arrest, you must be given right to legal consultation is mandatory as per the Constitution. If they don't agree, make an application in the court.
thanks, but Lordship.
Lordship, Jahangir Bakshi, Secretary, District Legal Services, Srinagar. Chip, one query. So far as the recommendations of the UTRC are concerned, the guideline is laid down by the NALSA is that the recommendation must be by consensus. That all the members must.
That's a fine, but suppose you're not consensus, move a bail application. Suppose you're declaring move a bail application, who's part you from doing that? Tell the legal aid council to move a bail application.
Lordship, chairperson from Jammu wants to.
Yes, please.
Good evening, Lordship. This is Sanjay Parihar, Principal District Judge, Jammu, Lordship. So we are fortunate to have your Lordship, and it has been a highly enriching Lordship. We have learned a lot from your Lordship's guidance today. Lordship, the LADC from Jammu has given you the real picture that Jammu, the under trial cases are on rise. It is because of the NTPS matters that is on rise, and we have a lot of pendency on NTPS issue. And recently, the Honorable High Court has created a special court for NTPS cases. Lordship, the main issues with regard to LADC that Lordship has already flagged it, that we require a Chief Defense Counsel because he is having more than 400 cases. So at least we require more manpower as far as the LADC is concerned. Lordship, another issue is with regard to overcrowding of jails. That is creating problem for Jammu because we have two district jails. One is
NALSA had sent a letter recently that everybody should inspect the jails. Has that been done?
We have inspected, Lordship, or rather we have recommended that since the new jails may not come in future in just a matter of time, but we had recommended that the government can on its own create subsidiary jails. In those jails, we can house those under trial where the persons who are awaiting filing of charge sheet or awaiting filing of formal charge.
Okay, tell me one more thing.
Yes,
how
Lordship.
many of you, district legal services authorities, member secretaries, feel that LADCS is better than the earlier panel law system? Can you raise your hands? I'm sorry. How many of you feel that the panel law system is better? Raise your hands.
Lordship,
Why is
yes.
nobody supporting panel lawyers here? Okay.
So, Lordship, as far as panel lawyers are concerned, Lordship, because the LADC is being provided with this incentive, so that is attracting them, and that is why the LADC is doing wonders. So that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
If
Lordship.
anybody wants to give written suggestions or say anything, please come forward, give it. We'll appreciate. It'll be highly appreciated. Thank you so much for spending so much time with us and waiting.
Thank you, Lordship.
Thank you, my lord, for giving an opportunity to the legal services workforce to have lively interaction and also for sharing valuable experience. Your lordship's dedication to the cause of justice continues to inspire us all to work for achieving the object and goal set out by the NALSA. I would now request Honorable the Chief Justice to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Khanna ji. I would also request Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abastan and Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan to do the honors by presenting a memento to Honorable the Chief Guest.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lordships.
Our task is half done, not even half done. So we have to move forward from where we are today. Next year, probably somebody else will be coming and speaking to you. Hopefully, it will be much better than this. We will be far ahead of him. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you. Sorry.
I'll request.
Sorry.
I
apologize.
As we near the conclusion of this remarkable conference, I invite Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Executive Chairman, Ladakh Legal Services Authority, to present a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. I can understand and appreciate the anxiety of the chair. It's been a long day, and I can see a lot of hungry eyes and faces, and would like to get back home. But I'm not going to let go my 2 minutes of space here. Anyway, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Judge Supreme Court of India, and the Executive Chairman for the National Legal Services Authority. Sir, we are truly honored to have you amongst us, and we're grateful for the pains that you've taken to chair the session, and your points and tips have been very useful and have been well received by all of us. And I'm sure that those who have received them are going to put it in action in the field also. Honorable Mr. Justice Koteshwar Singh, sir, you as the Chief Justice of this Jammu and Kashmir High Court and Ladakh, and the patron chief of the legal aid services here, sir, you had mentioned about how that there is a misconception amongst the executive that the Legal Services Authority was an exclusive activity of the judiciary, and how that needed to be changed, and how that the history of the legal services movement started actually long before it was statutized, and from the Hussain Ara Khatun's case onwards. So that's been an eye-opener, sir. And the PLVs and their importance in taking access to the access to justice to the grassroots have also been emphasized by you. Justice Sanjeev Khanna Saab, I would like to just reiterate a few of your words which you had mentioned in the earlier session, which I would like and hope that it would soak into the young judges sitting above us already. And which, so you had said that the district courts deal with the constitutional aspects also, and as fundamental rights and constitutional morality are ingrained into the cases that are before you, and how that they are integral parts of the interpretation of statutes. And so the second thing, sir, your unequivocal regard for the judges of the district judiciary is admirable, sir. And that is something that each one of us must imbibe in ourselves, and not forget for a moment what the Justice Sanjeev Khanna said, that we are not given by gods, and we are mortal as mortals can be, and that we as judges judge cases without being judgmental. And that precisely means that when we are not judgmental is that we don't let social morality go over constitutional morality. Sometimes we may have to ensure that while interpreting the statutes, we actually do justice rather than complying with the provisions of the law, which we are expected to do undoubtedly, but not go to the extent of making our own views in our judgments so perverse that it does not become sustainable. And then you had, sir, that 67% of the matters are criminal matters in the district court of J&K, which is a shocking number, which I'm sure you young people would take care of as you rise in your careers. And the tendency of civil cases to be converted to criminal cases, that's shocking. But it's actually happening. And you as magistrates, you have the power to take cognizance. And implied therein is also the authority or the power not to take cognizance where the charge sheet does not disclose any offense at all. So there you must remember that it's not a mechanical process by which you take cognizance under 190 and call for the accused under 214 and put him to trial. But you must find out whether there is a case at all against him, or whether it's purely a civil case which is sought to be peddled as a criminal case, so that to get an early resolution between the parties. And criminal appeals, which are, sorry, then you've also mentioned that more than 50% of the criminal appeals are being dealt with the legal aid services, which is a shocking number. And that's an eye opener too. That goes to show that what percentage of our population does not have access to reasonable justice or access to justice at the appellate level. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you, Lordship, for your gracious words.